Welcome to the Marketing Pulpit Show, and I am Robert Gatewood, your host. We are here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good of marketing gospel. We're not saving souls, we're saving businesses, saving jobs, saving our community. Now, if I happen to save a soul along the way, don't hold that against me. We'll just call that icing on the cake. Now, the mission at Marketing Pulpit Show is to build strong businesses in our community so that we can put our people to work. And we do that with business development, job creation, and service. So if you ever find yourself in a business crossroads and not sure which way to turn, just turn on the Marketing Pulpit Show because we're on a mission. The show is broadcast live from the illustrious Radio 1 studio. Welcome to the show. I am Robert Gatewood, your host. This is the Marketing Pulpit. And I'm here every Friday at 10:30 a.m. bringing you the good marketing gospel. Not here to try to save your soul. I'm here to try to save your business. Maybe your job. But bigger than that, how about our community? Boy, we need some help. But you know what I think? Now, I could be a little biased, but a strong business foundation in a community is a game changer. You can do everything else right. But if you don't have an economic foundation, it's all uphill. So I've made it my mission, my cause célèbre, my raison d'etre, my reason for being, is to help our community be vibrant, strong, resilient by helping us start and maintain successful businesses. I mean, it's one thing to start a business, but it's got to be successful. We have enough failures out here. I don't need to start another business to fail because it's bad. It's caused all kinds of problems. But anyway, welcome. I'm Robert Gatewood. I'm a business developer by trade. I have a company called Gatewood Marketing and Web. You can find me on the web at gatewoodmarketing.com. I'm also the host and producer of the Marketing Pulpit Show. You can go to marketingpulpit.com. I'm also an adjunct professor at the local college here, Prince George's Community College. I've written a couple of books in government space. But it all points back to the same thing, trying to make this community more vibrant, more sustainable, self-sufficient by building successful businesses. And if you have a business, or if you know someone who has a business, this is a good way to spend your Friday morning. But the good thing about it, let's say if you're busy doing Friday morning, the information is right here. Right after we get off the air, you can get this same information 24/7. Go to our Facebook channel, our YouTube channel, our Instagram, LinkedIn, and the information is all there. My phone just blowing up this morning, people are reaching out. So also we're going to talk about some interesting topics today. But our main topic is going to be bad habits of people who fail in business. Didn't I just say that we don't need another business failure? There's too many business failures going on right now. So what we're going to do, we're going to try to make sure that you're not in that number. We want to make sure that you are part of that number that's succeeding in business. So we're going to tell you some things to avoid. Now, I'm not saying you're probably not guilty of all 10 of these, but I can bet you just about everybody is guilty of a few. So you want to make sure you listen so you can find out which ones you may be guilty of and why you can kind of, get things in line before this year concludes. So we're going to talk about that later on. Today is World Hello Day. Man, who comes up with these observances? But I like that one, though. Hello to everyone. Hello again and again. It's okay to be kind and nice and pleasant. It's part of communication. This month, we're observing Alzheimer's Disease Month awareness. That's a dreadful disease where people can't recognize you and you trying to communicate with them. Well, anything we can do to bring awareness to this debilitating illness and marshal resources, then I'm all for it. It's also National Diabetes Month, National Gratitude Month. It's also National Entrepreneurship Month. So all you entrepreneurs out there, come on, guys. Let's get with it. We've got a more important now than ever for the entrepreneurs to step up to the plate. But you got to be successful too. That's why we're going to talk about some of these bad habits you want to eschew, to put aside, to avoid. Let's see what's happening in the news. Well, the stocks have taken a dive. Man, I woke up this morning, opened up my phone, went into my Robinhood app. Normally, that's like a good little treat. I go to bed and say, man, I made money while I slept. Look in there, tell you up the top how much money you made for the day. It's like, man, I made like $500. Didn't even get out of bed. Man, after I looked at that app this morning, I wanted to stay in bed and maybe wake up on a different day. Man, it was brutal. So these AI worries have people, these things like that make the stock market jittery. You got these people like NVIDIA who've just been riding this bubble. Some people are calling it a bubble, like the social media bubble that happened a few years ago. People think it's going to pop. So people are kind of holding back, they're hedging their bets. And so the stock market is not looking that great this morning. Let me take another quick look here. See if I have more reason, or do I need to go climb back into bed? Ouch. Whoa. Jesus Christ. I'm sorry. Man. Worse than it was this morning when I woke up. Let's see, what have I lost today here? All right, there went my beer money. Not that I drink beer, but if I did. All right, let's see what else is going on here. Just got a note says that the stream is stuck in some kind of mode over here. Let's see what we can do about it. Let me talk to my engineer and see if we can get that thing started again. If you are stuck, if you're on Instagram and your screen is stuck, go to the website, marketingpulpit.com. You'll see the entire show right on the website. You can also go to one of our other platforms, YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. I see Betty down in Waysburg. Good morning. Thanks for joining. Like home folks up in the house. Home people in the house. All right, let's see what else is going on. Thanksgiving dinner is going to cost you less this year. This is a trend that started back during the Biden administration, and it seems to continue. So you're going to spend about $55 this year for your Thanksgiving dinner. It's about a 5% decrease from last year. So you thinking about turkey, that's some good news. Love that turkey, boy. Good old turkey. Man, you get that thing where it's kind of, don't make it too dry. Get that dressing on the side. Some yams and some greens. That was sweet potato pie waiting in the kitchen. Woo, boy. Anyway, all those niceties is going to cost you a little less this year. Also, the people are gearing up to spend money this year, more so than they spent last year. Like I said, this is a continuing trend. So they're going to spend up to maybe $500 over what they spent a year ago. Oh, they're going to spend up to $500, which is about 28% over a year ago. So the economy has cooled down, but it's the higher income people, believe it or not, who are driving this trend. So you have the so-called rich people, they're spending, but the folks who are out here struggling, lower incomes, trying to pay their bills, they may not be in these numbers, which might really bring me up to a point. You have to be careful, particularly now in this climate, how you look at numbers, how you interpret data. Because sometimes people give you these numbers and it's the old saying that numbers don't lie. Yes, they do. Numbers lie quite a bit. For instance, let me tell you this. Somebody throw out the word average to you. Well, average income or average this, average that. You say, well, it's true. They said, I'm telling the truth. They could be telling the truth. But you have to ask them, are you talking about the mean, which is also average? Are you talking about the median, which is also an average? Or are you talking about the mode? All three of these mean the average, but they can have different outcomes. For instance, let's say you have a typical street and somebody comes along and says the average income on this street is $500,000. Now you're probably saying to yourself, man, that's the street I want to be on. Because if I get on that street, I'm probably going to be making $500,000 too. But if you have one person on that street making 5 million and you use the average, you could very well get an average income on that street of $500,000. Okay, so that is what we call the mean, which is mostly what we mean when we say average. That's what people usually refer to. Let's take that same set of data, same set of variables, and use what is called the median, where you take all of the averages, all of the people on the street, you line them up, and you pick the person in the middle. And if there's two in the middle, you take those two and average them out. That gives you your median. And that number might look more like, $55,000 a year, which is more representative of the neighborhood. So in that case, you may not want to use the mean, you may want to use the median to get a true representation. And then there's another one called the mode. So the mode, once again, you line up all the folks on the street and you choose the income that appears most frequently. So you may have somebody on one end making $5 million, another person on the other end is homeless, but you have three people in that group of data. Let's say out of 10 people, three of them might make $48,000 a year. That's called the mode. So you pick the variable that appears the most frequently. So why am I saying this? We're in an information age where people are throwing information at you right and left. They're not going to break it down into these type of nuances. They're going to say it's absolutely true that the average income in the United States is such and such a dollars, or the average person is going to spend a certain amount of money to Santa Claus. Even though somebody now bought a Maserati for his wife or husband, somebody else was at the dollar store. It's going to distort the numbers. So be mindful of the numbers. Numbers, not only do they lie quite frequently. I want to say good morning to Brother Gerald Brown. He says hello to the Marketing Pulpit family. Mr. Brown is one of the greatest plumbers in town. That's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to pop in I'm going to start doing this more frequently. I'm going to pop in the link to the show if you want to come on and state your piece. So I just popped that into the feed. You have to have your camera. Turn your camera on and come on in and we'll join the conversation. Maybe going to add something to these things we're talking about today. Let's see. What I'm going to do is take a quick break. When I come back, we're going to talk about some of these bad habits You want to get rid of these bad habits this time of year. We're at the end of getting close to the end of 2025. So you can start 2026 with good habits. But you have to know which bad habits to get rid of before you can replace them with good habits. So hang on a second. Let me take a quick break here. So don't go anywhere. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood, your host. I'll be back in a second. All right. Welcome back. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I am Robert Gatewood, business developer, professor, butcher, baker, candlestick maker, bottle watcher. Man, let me tell you, when you run a business and you're the owner, man, you better learn how to do everything. I'm not saying you have to do everything. I'm just telling you, it's a good idea to understand how it works. Love my small business owners. That's my target audience. Yes, I can work for large companies too, because as a matter of fact, that's where I cut my teeth. I'm a product of corporate America, for better or worse. But the good thing about it, I took that skill that I learned in corporate America of helping people grow businesses and customize it towards small businesses, mom and pop shops, LLCs, one-person operations, 5-person operations. As my company grew, we expanded it to include government agencies and big corporations, nonprofits, educational institutions. We expanded our services. Now we cover social media, digital marketing, expanding into AI. But you have to start. And you have to avoid some of these bad habits I'm about to share with you. Some of which I'm guilty of perpetuating, trying to get rid of. But you got to learn, though. That's the thing about it. Matter of fact, that's on the list. Let's talk about this. The first one on my list. These are bad habits that have doomed and continue to doom business owners. The first one is avoiding tough decisions. You put it off, you think it's going to go away, and it comes back to bite you bigger than it did or would have if you had addressed it head on. Being a business owner, part of your responsibility, being an entrepreneur, being the head bottle watcher or person in chief, is to make those tough decisions. If you're not going to make them and somebody else is not going to make them, you're setting yourself up for failure. That's number one. Number two, that causes people to go out of business, to fail, is poor money management. Now, poor money management goes a little deeper than not making enough money. That's all of us. We always can make some more money. But what are you doing with the money that you have? No budget. No gadget is outside your reach. So every time a new shiny gadget comes along, you spend your money on it. You have a good month, you go on a spending spree, failing to realize that business is cyclical. That good month comes along, you need to put that money away like the old squirrel does when wintertime comes. Don't be mixing your personal and business money. I tell you this, and this is true. Cash flow can kill your business, or poor cash flow can kill your business quicker than any competitor can. I'm just saying, I'm talking about ways to doom your business with bad habits. Number three, lack of consistency. Jumping from one strategy to the next, one marketing plan to the next, one location to the next, like a puppy chasing his tail. You start and stop everything before you give it a chance to work. You stop your marketing. You went out networking. You didn't get any sales because really you didn't understand how networking works. Networking is about building relationships, not getting sales right away. Your sales outreach didn't work. Your planning's not bearing fruit. You gotta be patient. Business success rewards consistency more so than it rewards brilliance. There's a lot of smart people out here, but there's not a lot of people that can hang in there. Here's another one, number 4. Not listening to people, not hearing feedback. You think you know everything. Boy, that has doomed a lot of businesses. Yeah, you may be the best cook. You may be the best attorney in the land since Johnny Cochran. And I can assure you, you don't know everything. You need to listen to folks. Stop being so thin-skinned and somebody criticize you. Taking it personal. You don't make changes based on the marketplace. If market is moving at lightning speed. Feedback is data. It's a KPI, a key performance indicator. To ignore it can lead to your doom. I'm just saying. Number 5, we're talking about why businesses fail. You're working in the business, not on the business. You get stuck in the day-to-day task, trying to get out that next order. But you're not taking time to strategize, to update your systems, to innovate, to collaborate. That busy work you're doing, we call it, sometimes I call it wiggling the wires to make it look like you're busy. But that replaces business growth. So you have to work in the business, but you got to work on the business too. Number 6, we're talking about why businesses fail. Some bad habits that some people have that's causing their business to go to the point of no return. There's no clear value proposition. Now, what do I mean? You got to be good at something, and you got to be better than the competition at something. I know good is a relative term, but what can you do to make your approach or your service or your products different than the next one? You have to very clearly state what it is that you do, why you do it better, and speak to that audience. Why is it valuable? If you don't do that, the customer's just not going to stick around. I'm just telling you. They'll come around for a minute. But even your family and friends will leave you after a while. They say, wait, Gatewood just doing what everybody else is doing at a higher price. Let me get out of here. That's not the answer. So this has doomed many companies by not having a clear value proposition. You might even call it your unique selling position. Okay. Number 7, we're talking about why businesses fail. Some bad habits that some business owners have. I'm not saying you, but I'm going to throw myself on the grenade. Yeah, we all might have one or two of these, and probably nobody has all of them. If you do, you doomed. Going back to job, going back to work. Okay, number 7 is poor people skills. Businesses fall and rise on relationships. Get that in your head. Write that across your forehead, tattoo it on your arm. It's about relationships. But if you are poorly communicating, you don't collaborate, you're not expressing your, like we said, your value propositions, you're going to have some problems. Communication, learn how to listen. That's the first part of communication. Listening. Tell that to people who are going to network. Hey, oh, look, Gate, I can't network. I'm not a good talker. I said, you're a perfect networker then. The greatest networkers are the best listeners. So learn some communication skills. Come on out to some networking events. Sometimes you can sit in the corner for a minute and just see what people are doing, how people are moving in the world. Just remember this. Money follows relationships, not the other way around. Money will follow the relationships. Learn that today, if you haven't already. Number 8, now I may sound a little self-servicing on this one, a little self-serving, but if you are neglecting marketing, I know, but it's true. And people don't always know what marketing is. They think it's just advertising, it's just selling. What marketing is about? Making sure that you have the right, satisfying the needs and wants of a target market. So that means you got to get the right brand, you got to have the right messaging, advertise it in the right places, have some type of sales process in place, and then retain people through customer service. If you're not doing that, and if you think that word of mouth alone is going to serve you or save you, look, I'm your biggest fan of word of mouth. But you look, notice what I just said, mouth. How many mouths, how many people can you actually talk to? Like they know you right away. I'm going to put a little star beside this because sometimes it depends on where you are in the life cycle of your business. Sometimes word of mouth is all you need. I'm sort of right there myself. I'm not doing a lot of advertising on TV and stuff like I used to because I do get the majority of my clients from word of mouth. But we have to help them. We have to make sure our brand is right and tight. We're presenting ourselves. We have good services. So even for the word of mouth, you have to do some work to make sure that when people are out there tooting your horn, you're not going to let them down. So you have to market, advertise, sales. customer service, branding. Okay? And be bold about it. Fortune favors the bold when it comes to advertising. Your competition is probably not going to do it. They're going to be careful. They're going to look at advertising as an expense, while you know that it's a investment. Fortune favors the bold when it comes to marketing and advertising. Open up that purse, spend some money. Whether you spend it with me or not. I mean, I'm fine though. Don't. Matter of fact, I'm not even taking clients right now. I'm busy because I've been following these rules. I'm just sharing with you today. Telling you what not to do. Number 9, not learning, not improving. You're not leveling up. You're sticking in the same place year after year after year. People just gonna get tired of you. Even your family and friends who've been supporting you. And 10, this kind of goes along with consistency, but it's worth repeating. One of these bad habits of business owners who failed, they're on the dustbins. They're in Williams' business card morgue. Giving up too soon. Many people quit right before the breakthrough. Man, I can almost remember the day I was about to give up. My daughter was about to go to, I think she was about to go to law school or one of those milestones. My checkbook was light. Had a piece of card because I had put all my money in my business. Man, I was like down to my last couple $100. But I know I had put out my feelers. I said, just stay with it, Jake. Just stay with it. Don't give up. Everything, all the tea leaves are pointing in the right direction. The KPIs are telling you there's a breakthrough coming. I feel like right at the lowest point, this government contract landed on my desk. I've been talking to this lady probably 5-6 years about the possibility of this coming. But I never gave up. I stayed in touch, kept sending over information. Every time she called me, said, "Look, I got a possible contract for you to work on." I was frustrated. I'm like, man, we've been doing this 5-6 years. It's wasting my time. So I did it one more time. She wrote me back, sent me a contract, subcontract agreement for government contract with the Small Business Administration. And I was like, this stuff actually works. You have to hang in there. You have to be consistent. You don't give up. Now, of course, there's some things you have to do. You have to have some money put aside. Sometimes you have to leverage some of your assets. But make sure that you're not doing this fleetingly. Don't put your house on the line or margin off your stock because of some idea you're going to give up on next week. So giving up too soon is a big part of that failure formula. And like I said, I've been saying this over the years. All this stuff I talk about, I'm speaking from experience. I don't like to use my clients or my audience as test tubers. The test tube sample. I'm already the test tube. I'm the poster boy. I've done it for you. I've thrown myself on the grenade. So anyway, those are my 10 bad habits I want you to get rid of starting yesterday. Something you can do just like that. Blink of an eye. Boom, done. We're coming towards the end of the year. We got over a month before 2026. You know, looking at I was looking at the game last night. I was watching Josh Allen. They had like one touchdown away from winning the game, and field goal wasn't going to do it for them. But they had like a minute left to play. And I'm always amazed at these teams, whether it's Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson or Jalen Hurts or I want to say Jalen Daniels, poor fella, he's banged up again. But anyway, when he was well, these guys will have like a minute. And within that minute, the decisions they make and the actions they take sometimes can be the difference between millions of dollars, between careers failing, falling, or propelling. In a minute, if they could just get that ball down the field in a minute, you got all these 12, 11 guys on the other side trying to kill them and run them over and stomp them in the dust. But they've got a minute to make for their actions and their decisions to get down the field to that goal line. And you don't realize how long a minute is until you put the weight and the prominence on it, the importance. Well, we're sitting here today for over a month, not seconds or minutes, to get across that goal line. That's something to think about. You don't have a minute, you have over a month to make some decisive actions, some game-changing decisions. Let's take advantage of it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that's it for today. This is the Marketing Pulpit Show. I'm Robert Gatewood. You'll see me here on most Fridays from 10:30 to about 11 or so, bringing you the good marketing gospel. I'm a business developer by trade. So get out here and let's make these businesses work. We're in a tough economy right now, and we need you. I need you, not just for me, not just for you, but for the children, for our elderly, for our disabled people, many of who are no longer able to depend on the government. We're seeing services being stripped away. So that weight is falling back on us. So this is more than just our own personal ambitions now. This is really for the survival of our community. So let's take this seriously. Let's go out here and do the right thing. And as I say at the end of every show, if you want to be successful, you have to do these 3 things. Do the right thing, do it at the right time, and you must do it right. But enough talk. Let's get out here and get to work. See you next week.